Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the March session of the Paulding Planning Commission. At this time, I would ask if you have a cell phone or any other mobile audible device, please turn it off or to silence so it doesn't interrupt the proceedings here. Before we get started, we, over the past month, and in fact directly after the last session of this body, we had some tragic news that one of our members here had passed away. Mr. Michael Lewis Sudan. He was the appointee from the city of Hiram and did his job well, in my opinion. But I would ask if we could take a moment and just have a moment of silence. Thank you. I would ask also that if it's your pleasure, if you would please remember his family in your prayers and thoughts. It's a rough time for them, I'm certain. This time, I would ask the Planning Commission if you've had an opportunity to review the minutes from the previous session of this body and whether or not you may have any edits, comments, or concerns. And I believe we do have one from Mr. Lowe that pointed it out to me. A little bit of a typo at the very end, the third from the last paragraph, there being no further business, there is a motion made to adjourn by Mr. Lowe. Moniker needs to be changed to Mr.
A lot happened to that.
Is there any other edits or concerns? Hearing none, with that edit, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the previous session.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Mr. Lowe and a second
Second.
by Ms. Turnbull. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0 and 1. When we start going through the agenda items before us today, it's the same as every month.
Correction, that would be 4-0 and 1 today, wouldn't it?
It's 5-0 and 1, yes. I was believing.
Okay. I didn't have all my fingers out.
But with each agenda item, the applicant or the applicant's agent must be present for the item to be considered. 15 minutes will be allotted to the presentation by the applicant or anybody that would wish to speak on behalf of the application. You may use all of that time or conserve some of it for a rebuttal after the opposition is given a chance to speak. The opposition will be given 15 minutes, and that will be time for anybody who may have simply questions, comments, or concerns, or does object to the application. And that is 15 minutes total. So if you have a line of people waiting to speak, please be conscientious about the people behind you, either for or against the application during that period of time. This is a recommending body. We will hear the agenda item. We will listen to comments and take input. We will forward a recommendation to the governing authority under the jurisdiction of the agenda items, which I believe all of them today would be going to Paulding County Board of Commissioners for their consideration, correct me if I'm wrong, at tonight's meeting at 7. And if you have an interest in the agenda item, I would recommend that you be present for, particularly the applicant, for it to be considered. We're going to dispense with the reading of the rules for participation in a public meeting. There is a copy on the back table at the back of the room. If anybody would be interested in getting a copy for a bit of light reading, please take it with you. And at this time, I would ask Mr. Robinson, is there anything I've forgotten, or are you ready to present the first application?
I think we're ready to go. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
I do want to note that the first two applications coincide with each other, and but they would need to be considered separate.
Yes.
First application, 2019-01Z, application by Joe L. Anderson Jr. for the modification of existing zoning stipulations from zoning case Z2700 to remove stipulations numbers 1 and 3 through 8 to improve development potential for the subject property. Property is approximately 2.34 acres in Zone B2 Highway Business District. Property is located in land lot 615, District 2, Section 3. It's on the west of Rosedale Drive and south of Seaboard Avenue, actually on the corner right there. It's in Commission Post 3. Staff has recommended approval. We've had noted opposition from City Hiram on this one, and staff has recommended approval with 6 printed stipulations in place of the prior 10 stipulations that were with the prior zoning case. An applicant is present.
The applicant will please come around, sign in, state your name. And in all cases, whoever presents at the podium, please address your comments to the chair. That would be me.
Joe Anderson, Jr. How are y'all
How you doing,
today?
sir?
I'm Joe Anderson, Jr. I've lived here in Paulding County 40 years next year. I've owned this piece of property behind Home Depot for 5 years this year. I bought it to resell, and had it listed with Caldwell Banker, Atlanta Land Group. I've been unsuccessful to sell it. With the stipulations in the sewer requirements, lack of sewer, I can't really do much with it, to be honest with you. So I've got Chuck Rand here to answer any technical questions on the application here, and I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Rand, do you want to add anything to the record?
Yes, I do. Let me sign in here real quick. Again, my name is Chuck Rand with Edison Engineering Group, and working with the applicant on this subject project from the engineering perspective, as well as working with staff to work through the previous stipulations. And just reiterating what Mr. Anderson has said, this thing was zoned back in 2000. It had a lot of stipulations that were added to it, and at the time, I'm satisfied that applicant was more than willing to take those stipulations. But with a few years past then, 19 years, trying to get something started back on this property, and hearing what he's getting back from the realtor regarding the stipulations. And again, sewer's about 1,300 feet away. It's about $150,000, $175,000 expense. It's not that we're opposed to it. We think that is probably something that'll come later down the road, and ultimately this tract will do something beyond what we're talking about today as far as with when we get into the special use. One thing I will say about working with staff, I appreciate planning and zoning and DOT working with us. There's the talk of a possible traffic improvement at that intersection, and we've overlaid what they proposed. We know that may or may not happen, and I think the stipulations reflect that, but we were very appreciative of both departments working with us to get to a point where both sides were amicable with what was presented. So I'll just reserve the rest of Mr. Anderson's time, and if there's any questions, we'll take them as they come.
Yes, sir. If y'all would remain at the lectern, and we'll go ahead and
Sure.
begin that process. Is there anybody from the Planning Commission that may have questions for the applicant or Mr. Rand?
I have some questions. Chuck, you said, property owner said that there wasn't sewer available. Isn't there a sewer outfall near the Home Depot, all that group of buildings that's available now?
There is sewer over in that general area. In order for us to get over there, that would take a small pump, and we have not approached that subject. I mean, it'd be a small private pump that would have to go via force main over to that area. I don't know where the manhole is, but we have not approached that with the water system as a possible option. But via gravity, it's going to run back toward the fire station site, back toward the Silver Comet Trail. That's the 1,300 feet away that there's a existing gravity sewer that this site would drain to.
Is the property owner amenable to putting left turn lanes and accel decel lanes on the side of the property? That's a narrow street as it stands right now. Doesn't hold very much more traffic, especially when you've got 3 fire trucks coming down. When we originally zoned that property, Fire Station 2 wasn't there.
That's correct.
And now you've got fire trucks that use that road daily, especially when you got a ladder that's, bordering around 40,000-50,000 pounds. That's a lot to stop in a short distance, and you've got a curve there that is, gonna be a problem, as far as getting vehicles in and out with that equipment coming through.
Well, and I think that there's two aspects to this property. One, and I'll get a little bit ahead of myself with talking about the use permit. On the use permit, we really weren't providing a decel or a taper, was doing a wider entrance with wider radiuses. And again, with the outside storage aspect, if it's RVs or some type of boat or other recreational vehicle, there's oftentimes going to be off-peak times and infrequent at best. But if this property were to develop further as a B2 without looking at the storage and without looking at the mini warehouse, that would be something that we would have to address in plan review. Again, a higher use that generates more cars going in and out, such as an office or some other type of facility. We would expect to address those comments in plan review, and if there was any other data we needed to provide to justify one entrance or the other, we'd hope we could address that with DOT at that time.
Is there a possibility of doing the entrance on Seaboard, I mean, not on Seaboard, but, Rosedale?
Doing,
The entrance into the facility on Rosedale?
we've actually restricted our access onto Rosedale. I'm not going to speak for DOT. That'd be a question for them on the restriction. Again, it's really close to that intersection, and I'm satisfied that is why they've asked us to stay with the one off of Seaboard versus off Rosedale.
We can go to staff with that question after. Are there any other questions from the planning commission?
How far is this property from the Silver Comet Trail?
That's about 1,400 feet away from the southernmost property line.
Okay. Just a point of interest that I wanted to make sure that you're aware of, as well as the planning staff for the county. Speaking as an agent for the city of Hiram, we had to do a stream walk on the property to the south that is contiguous to this piece.
Mm-hmm.
There is an ephemeral or an intermittent stream identified by the EPD there. It's questionable as to where the location actually, because you go to the stream bank bed or where the growth took place, within the stream bed. Just want to make sure that you're aware of that so that is brought into consideration when you're talking about development of the property and restriction of the non-disturbance buffers, which is 25 by the state and 50 additional feet by the county, which you might be able to apply for a waiver, but those are there. I didn't know if you were aware of it.
We are aware of that particular situation. It's not something you could get a permit to do away with it because of that issue that exists, but we are aware of it, and the only thing that we're doing on that south side at this point in time is our detention area, and we'll be outside those buffer areas when we move through development.
Are there any other questions from the planning commission to the applicant or Mr. Rand? Board of Commissioners? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This time, is there anyone else that would wish to speak on behalf of this application? Thank you. You may take your seats. Is there anyone here that would wish to speak in opposition to this application or may have questions, comments, or concerns? And again, this is for the modification to the existing zoning stipulations.
Good afternoon. My name is Teresa Filial. I am a resident of the city of Hiram. And let me sign in, please. I'm not here to oppose what Joe wants to do. I mean, everyone has their purpose and what they need to do, what they consider they need to do. But I am concerned about the aesthetics that is, going to be on Seaboard Avenue now. It's a pretty street, and the county, our ultimate goal now is we want to address tourism. There is a tremendous amount of bicycle traffic that comes down that sidewalk to the Silver Comet trailhead. So, my question is, I would please like to know that Joe intends to keep the aesthetics as nicely as he can. A good green buffer, where people riding their bikes down the sidewalk do not look over and see the parked vehicles and things like that, which will be unattractive. There's no other way to say it. I'm also concerned about where the placement of the ingress and egress is, that with the fire truck, when it leaves out in a hurry, you just barely get out of that deep curve, and you're right there at that. Also with our police cars, when they're going to an emergency, they have to travel at a fairly fast rate of speed when they start at Seaboard. And like I said, once you get out of that curve, then you're right there on the entrance. And that is a concern to me, that we do not want to delay in any way those people getting to emergencies of people that need them. So I have never been crazy about it, but I'm not here to bash Joe or ask him not to have his facility there. That is his right. I just want everyone to take into consideration the pros and cons to this area and what it intends to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there anybody else that would wish to speak in oppositions or may have questions, comments, or concerns regarding this application? Hearing none, at this point, I'm going to direct a question to Mr. Jones regarding the ingress egress. Statement was made by the applicant that they're restricted to have access onto Rosedale from this site because of its proximity and distance to the intersection. You've heard the concerns from Mayor Filial, as well as voiced here by the Planning Commission member, Mr. Leggett, regarding the closeness, the fact that they're coming into the concave portion of the curve and its proximity, which is close to the fire station. And the mayor voiced also concerns for emergency responders coming down the road and ending up on top of the intersection at a quick pace. Is there anything that can be looked at in plan review to address those concerns?
Yes. Regarding Rosedale access, it's just too close. There's just not enough room to basically place an entrance for this facility. It'll be too close to the depot intersection. Doesn't meet spacing requirements. Seaboard, there's more room. There's actually room there to put an intersection that meets spacing requirements. As part of the plan review process, this development will be required to meet site distance. That's basically site distance looking out of the site to your left, right. Also site distance on the main line turning left into the facility. Stopping site distance. Those factors will be looked at and made sure that they meet the criteria provided by AASHTO.
And I realize this is a site plan drawing that we're looking at, but Chris, could you hold a finger or a pen up to the location for the proposed entrance, just so that everybody can understand? Is this essentially the location that you understand the entrance would be located?
Right now, that could change during plan review. We haven't seen it yet, so again, I can't.
Okay.
This is their plan. So
right.
when they submit something to us, we will make sure that it meets site distance at that time, along with the spacing from the intersection. Again, you get intersections too close to each other, they don't operate well. You need space.
All right.
Would we require the accel lane and decel lane and a turning lane in that intersection also?
Per our development regulations, a decel lane is required. We took off the stipulation on this particular development because it actually specified a lane length and a taper length. So we were asked to remove that, in which we had no problem because, again, this is specified in the development regulations.
So it's required regardless of it being a stipulation, which
Yes.
is, I'm a huge advocate for that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Mr. Rand, could I trouble you one more time? Just for clarification, and again, I understand that this is subject to change at Planning Commission. I just want to get a good understanding. The location that's proposed for the entry point on this, understanding that's a hypothetical entrance right now, I do know that. I can't tell the scale, but about how far is that from the intersection at Rosedale as it's proposed here?
I believe one of the previous stipulations actually stipulated where that driveway could go.
Okay.
And what you're seeing on the site plan that was provided is as far as close as the county will allow us to get to the intersection. It's not to say we've actually talked about it with Joe about moving it a little bit further south.
Okay.
But again, as far as site distance requirements, we'll address those as we get into plan review.
You understand the concerns that were voiced?
I understand,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you very much. Is there any other questions for the applicant before?
Yeah, I do have a question for Mr. Anderson. I'm a realtor, so I'm going to approach you this. Have you reached out to the person, the storage place next to you, to see if they would like to purchase it so that they could
Yes.
tie that all together?
Yes, ma'am, I have. He doesn't have any interest in it.
Okay.
I certainly have. And in regards to Ms. Y'all's concern on the aesthetics of it, I own a couple of other properties in the county, and I hope that you've been by them and give a thumbs up. I try pretty hard to keep things pretty decent looking. And the traffic coming and going there, Mr. Leggett, concerning the fire trucks, is very minimal. I could have a study done for you on some similar type parking areas that would maybe help ease your thoughts on the fire trucks running into somebody turning into the
That's
facility.
either the busiest or the second busiest fire station in the county, so.
Yes, sir, I understand. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson, usually at the very beginning of my conversations with the applicant, I will ask if you're familiar with the 6 listed stipulations as recommended by the staff and that you're agreeable to those. Just want to make sure that you have had a chance to review them and you are agreeable. And you can ask Chuck to step in if you like.
Well, didn't quite hear all your question, Jody.
There are 6 listed stipulations. I understand we're talking about amendments to the existing steps, but we have, based on the preceding analysis, staff recommends approval with the following stipulations. Are y'all agreeable to what the staff has recommended?
Yes.
Which also covers a planted buffer, you know.
Yes, sir.
So for screening purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Just wanted to
Yes,
make sure that that was on record.
Yes, sir, with a 6-foot privacy fence.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes, sir.
one of the stipulation number 1 specifies a 4-foot buffer, or actually a landscape strip with evergreen tree plantings. What's your thoughts? What would that be?
Leyland cypress, I estimate about 60 plants, 60 trees.
The width of a mature Leyland cypress is like 8 to 10 feet wide, and I was just wondering how that's going to fit in there, and if you planted, the definition of an evergreen tree planting, I mean, I guess it could be down to a boxwood, could it not, Chris? But my concern would be that we're not parking cars or anything like that that's approximately 6 foot tall. You're parking campers and recreation vehicles. There it's 13 feet tall, and so if it's just 6 foot tall, whatever you plant, and you're gonna have 7 foot of exposure sticking over. So I was wondering if this is for beautification or for screening what's in there, or for both. And that was my concern. Just a 4-foot landscape strip to put Leyland cypresses in. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna fit when they grow to be larger.
And I'd like to add too, my mother was involved in a very bad accident in the parking lot in front of Target because of a Leyland cypress that was planted around a fence. It got too big, she couldn't see, and a car came flying around there. So it would be imperative that the trees would be maintained so that the sight distances could be also maintained, so.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
So if you planted Leyland cypresses, I guess you'd have to keep them pruned and trimmed back, because they get up to 8 to 10 feet wide.
Yes, sir, they certainly do, or wider.
And, yeah, Mrs. Turnbull's correct. They get very large and block the view sometimes. So That'd be something you'll be willing to do, is to keep those pruned back and
Yes, sir.
keep them
Absolutely.
shaped up?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from the planning commission? Board of Commissioners? Thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion regarding application 2019-01-Z
Motion to approve.
with the 6 listed stipulations.
With the 6 listed stipulations.
I have a motion to approve from Mr. Lowe with the 6 listed stipulations. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Ms. Turnbull. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0 and 1. And we will move now to the second part of this property. Mr. Robinson?
Okay, next application, 2019-01 SUP, application by Joe L. Anderson Jr. for a special use permit on approximately 2.34 acres to allow for self-storage mini warehouse facility to include outdoor storage of vehicles. Property is located in land lot 615, District 2, Section 3, west of Rosedale Drive, south of Seaboard Avenue, Post 3 Commission District. And staff has also recommended 6 stipulations if the board chooses to approve this application.
Are they identical to the previous? I've read them and I think they are.
There's just a little bit different on the zoning application. It requested that the owner developer on stipulation number 2 to donate 5 feet of right-of-way along the property frontage of Rosedale. And on at that special use permit, that stipulation on number 2 is that the owner developer agrees access will be determined during the plan review process,
So
which,
are we going to create a conflict within the stipulations?
well, what it does, the 5 feet of right-of-way, no matter what develops out there, if the special use is not approved, they still have to do the 5 foot.
Okay.
That's why it's different. It's not a special use right-of-way taken, it's actual the zoning.
I would rather you explain that than me, so thank you.
Thank you. An applicant, of course, is here.
If you would please come around, sign in, state your name, and address your comments to the chair. I assume your initial signatures will do.
All right, thank you. I'm looking to actually do a boat and camper parking here at this facility.
So no mini storage?
No, ma'am. Mini storage is adjacent to the property.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it in the drawing, but that's what it said, so I just wanted to make sure.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Are there any questions to the applicant from the planning commission?
What length of campers would you be allowing in there?
Well, that's a good question, Mr. Leggett. I'm going to presume about 25, 30 foot would be about the largest. Some of these parking spots are vary. Go ahead, Mitch.
Several of the, we've got 2 different size spots in there. One's for the RV parking, they're 14 by 30. Currently, there's 12 of those shown. And then we've got RV and boat parking, which is just a little bit longer slip, and that's 14 foot by 45. We have 32 of those. Now, some of the right-of-way issues that we'll work around because of the previous zoning stipulations, that number will likely go down, but that's what we had for the conceptual.
Just for formality's sake, y'all are agreeable to the stipulations staff has recommended in the SUP?
Are you agreeable with STIPs?
Yes.
Any further questions from the planning commission?
As I read this, it says outdoor storage of vehicles. That can include a lot of different things. I know you specified boats and RVs. That means that there's nothing like a tractor trailer
Oh, no. No,
Okay.
sir. Not at all. No, sir.
or cars?
Well, I don't presume so, no, sir, at all. Not with a parking spot the size that they are. No cars.
Mr. Anderson, will that just be a gravel lot?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions from the planning commission? Board of Commissioners, any questions to the applicant? Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would wish to speak on behalf of this application for an SUP? Is there anyone that would like to speak against this application for an SUP or may have questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, are there any questions from the Planning Commission to the staff regarding this application? Board of Commissioners? At this time, I will entertain a motion with regard to application 2019-01-SUP.
Motion to approve as written.
I have a motion to approve as written. That would be with the 6 listed stipulations. And do I have a second?
Second.
I have sorry, that was from Mr. Lowe. This is from Mr. Henson. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0 and 1. Again, this application will be forwarded to the Board of Commissioners for their consideration at tonight's meeting at 7. Applicant or the applicant's agent must be there for it to be considered. Mr. Robinson?
Thank you. Next application is 2019-03Z. It's application by Paulding County Airport Authority, Terry E. Tibbetts, CEP, to rezone approximately 660 acres from R2 suburban residential to I1 light industrial in order for the Paulding County Airport to better reflect to the public the current land use. Property is located in land lots 303, 304, 325, 326, 327, 328, 374, 375, 376, 377, 378, 393, 394, 395, 396, 446, 447, 448, 449, 462. It's District 19, Section 3, south of Rockmart Highway, US 278, and it's at the end of Airport Parkway. Address is 730 Airport Parkway. It's in Commission Post 2. Staff has recommended approval of this application, and applicant is present. We have had one of the adjoining property owners come by the office in support of this application.
Is the applicant present?
Applicant is present.
If you would, please come forward, sign in, state your name, and address your comments to the chair.
Good afternoon. My name's Terry Tibbetts. I'm not sure what a CEP is, but I'm the CEO of the Paulding County Airport Authority. And at a public meeting of the Paulding County Airport Authority 2 months ago, I believe it was, our board voted to present this to the Planning and Zoning Board and request that we rezone the airport to represent what it actually is being used for rather than R2. The Paulding County Airport Authority is a political subdivision of the state of Georgia created by legislative action in 1972. and as such, we are exempt from local zoning. However, it is our belief, and in consultation with the staff of the Planning and Zoning Office, we believe that it better reflects being good stewards of the property, reflecting to the community what we're doing out there. And it's also consistent with the new school that's planning to be located out there. This actually came up when we were doing the appraisals for the new school, and the appraiser was surprised to learn, as I was, that the zoning is actually R2. So we decided to go ahead and try to do a little bit of housekeeping here. I presented this to my board. They agreed that we should take this action. And so we are here today presenting this. It's a little bit unusual because the airport is already there. It's already been built. It's been in this use since 2008. So we're really just asking that the zoning be changed to reflect the current use of the property and to be consistent with the near-term future use, which includes the location of the Chattahoochee Tech A&P School that will be located out there in the near future.
So this is just to make y'all feel better about yourselves?
No, sir, this is to better reflect what's actually taking place out there to the community.
Thank you for your presentation. Are there any questions to the applicant from the Planning Commission?
Mr. Tibbetts, does this include the properties that the Airport Authority has purchased in the past that were residential?
Yes, it does. So I believe you're talking about the Combe property. So if you look down at the very bottom, can I point to this maybe?
Yes, sir.
It's this tract right here, Ellis, that we purchased a couple of years ago, and that does include that 10 acres that we bought from the Cones. So this is all of the property that is currently in the name of the Paulding County Airport Authority.
And this is a typical zoning for a airport of this size?
That is our understanding, yes.
What area is the school going into?
The school will be going in this, if you can see that triangle right there. It's going to be north and east of the existing airport terminal.
Is the rezoning required for the school?
It is not. They, like us, we believe, are exempt from zoning.
Any other questions from the Planning Commission? Board of Commissioners? Mr. Davis?
Mr. Tibbetts, you said that this is in this zoning, I forget the exact words you said, but it goes along with the plan for the school out there. But then you also say that they're exempt from zoning. So can you explain that for us, please?
I'm not 100% sure that Chattahoochee Tech is exempt from zoning. I believe that they would be because they are a part of the technical college system of Georgia. However, like us, we think that it would better reflect to the community that the school not be put in residential on a plat of property that's zoned residential, that it would be more appropriate to have it zoned light industrial.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask a question of staff, please?
Please.
For Mr. Robinson,
Yes, sir.
if indeed the school is subject to local zoning, what is the appropriate zoning for that type of school?
If a school is,
If indeed they are subject to our zoning, what would be the most appropriate fit for?
most public and private schools may be in a different zoning category, but I'm gonna pull this up real quick. If I can find my light industrial. The light industrial has a variety of different type facilities. It may not necessarily spell out exactly a school, but it also spells out different things that would be in the industrial realm of things, where it be a training facility or such. But to actually say, hey, the schools would be permitted in there under a light industrial, I would just have to look and see what the parameters of the school and what they're focused on and such. I don't know if that answers your question very well.
Well,
It's a little different from a public or private school system. It's, and of course, it's hooked into the Chattahoochee Tech, which we don't have a campus in unincorporated county, but
Can I add a clarification?
sure.
Commissioner Davis, the school will include a hangar. One of the reasons why they want to locate the school at the airport is because they're going to be having aircraft there, of course, for the students to work on. And so one of the requirements is that they have a hangar, and that's why they want to be adjacent to the runway where they can get donated aircraft and so forth brought to the school. So a hangar, I believe, certainly would be considered light industrial, and therefore, at least that part of the school, it would be appropriate zoning, as my interpretation.
After having another minute to review, under section O, under the permitted uses, colleges and universities private, including research and training facilities and vocational schools.
and
It's listed
that's
as a permitted use in I-1. Thank you.
very good. Thank you, Chris.
One more question, Mr. Tibbetts. Is the entrance road, oh, I'm sorry, is the entrance road part of it not included in this?
The entrance road is not a part of the school property. The entrance road will be built on county property, and this would be Airport Parkway Extension that has been planned since the airport opened in 2008. So the school is being located to take advantage of that already planned roadway, and the roadway is not really impacted one way or the other by the school.
I was just wondering why you didn't include it in the zoning, since you're changing it from residential, why not do all of it?
Well, the road bed adjacent to the school is actually on county property, not on airport property. So a part of Airport Parkway Extension is cutting across airport property,
Yeah, I see that.
but where it joins, or where it goes past the proposed school location, is actually on that 8 acres that the county just purchased back in December.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the applicant from the Board of Commissioners? Any questions from the Planning Commission to the staff? Thank you, Mr. Tibbetts. Is there anyone else that would wish to speak on behalf of this application? Is there anyone that would wish to speak in opposition to this application or may have questions, comments, and concerns? Thank you very much. At this time, I will entertain a motion with regard to application 2019-03-Z.
I move with accept.
I have a motion to approve from Mr. Henson. I have a second by Mr. Leggett. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0 and 1. And again, this will be forwarded to tonight's session of the Board of Commissioners for consideration. Mr. Tibbetts, if you would be present for it to be considered. Thank you. Mr. Robinson?
All right, final application is 2019-05 SUP. Application by Keith Moon for a special use permit on approximately 20 acres for two-day events for foot races per year with approved vendors. Property is located in land lots 310, 311, 338, 339, District 3, Section 3, south side of Harmony Grove Church Road, it's west of Moonlight Trail, and southeast of Davis Bridge Road. Address 2462 Harmony Grove Church Road. It's in Commission Post 4. And we've noted one called in opposition from an adjoining neighbor. And also that if the board chooses to approve, staff is recommending 12 stipulations, and they are printed. Applicant is present.
If you would please come around, sign in, state your name, and address your comments to the chair.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? My name's Keith Moon.
We come here before you today, we have a special use permit already in place. We do a Saturday's race for a Savage Race. It's a foot race, it's 6.5 miles. We have approved parking, restrooms, everything listed on the 12 stipulations, everything there is in place. We agree with all 12. We have it on Saturday. We want to have it on Sunday, and we're here today to try to make Sunday part of the race because the Saturday race is a lot of pro athletes that come in to do it. And Sunday race is going to be kind of a smaller race. It's only going to be 3 miles, and it's going to have a few obstacles in it, and it's more of a family-oriented race for Sundays. And we're trying to get an application to do for a Sunday race. And we have police out there escorting everybody in and out. We've never had a traffic problem whatsoever, and we've been doing it 7 years. We never had a fight, never had anything. Traffic's always been great. So I don't know. I'm not good at speaking. So anyway, do y'all have any questions?
We'll get right to that.
Okay.
Is there any questions for the applicant from the Planning Commission?
How many people do you expect to be at this event
Which day, sir?
each day?
Each day, Saturday, we generally have 3,000 or 4,000 with volunteers and everybody. But like I said, Saturday's race is going to be the bigger one. Sunday's race is going to be the smaller one. I think we're expecting maybe Sunday's race to be 1,500. And like I said, again, we've had it 7 years. We never had one complaint about traffic. We never blocked the road up. We've got police escorts out there. The sheriff department is there to take care of all the egress problems. And where we collect the tickets and everything is almost 3/4 of a mile off the road. So we've got 3/4 of a mile back up before it even hits the pavement. So we've looked at all this and we've adjusted everything, spent a lot of money on extra roads and tearing fences down and rebuilding to accept this, the traffic and everything, so we will not be a burden on the community.
Are you currently doing your races in this location now?
Yes,
The ones
ma'am.
that you have?
We've been doing this location 7 years. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And like I said, all we're trying to do now, we have them on Saturdays and we want to include Sundays. And we already have our special use permit in place for twice a year, and we're just coming to you to see if we can do Sundays.
Any other questions to the applicant from the Planning Commission?
Did I read that right, that this is 20 acres in the middle of
376 acres?
358, yes, sir. It's in the middle of 358, yes, sir.
And you won't have it, any camping, any overnight?
No,
stay?
the only overnight stay we have is security guards. In us, we live there.
Any other questions from the Planning Commission? And just to make sure that it's gotten to the record, you are agreeable to the 12 stipulations?
Yes, sir.
I heard you
Yes, sir.
allude to it, but just-
We've followed about them for the last 7 years. We're glad to do it the same as we always have.
Any questions from the Board of Commissioners? Mr. Stover? Mr. Carmichael, thank you.
Keith, you are a good speaker, and you put on an excellent race, your whole family. A lot of my kids race in that, and you just make it a good event. The Sunday piece, you're just going to make that a little bit shorter, is that what you said? And you have professional racers that they use your race to qualify for national ranking?
Yes, sir. The Savage Race has a national ranking inside itself, and the Savage Race this last year they've won numerous awards for the best obstacles outdoors and the best what was it, Sam? Most innovative. They've won a lot of awards last year in the whole outdoor. That includes the Spartan Race and the Tough Mudder and everybody. There's a lot of different industries in this, and the Savage Race is ranked as in the very top of it. And the pro class comes in on Saturday and races Saturday, and with Sam and them, they do have a internal championship inside all their races. And we have people all over the world here. I mean, I don't know how many countries, really and truly, but we have people everywhere. Right. Sam can tell you more about that. He's more fluent with all the Savage part of it.
Commissioner Stover wanted to know if he could get a free T-shirt.
Yes, sir. And I would really, we would all love really for everybody to come out. We've invited y'all every year. I really wish everybody would come out and enjoy this and be part of it, because we're trying to be a positive thing in the community. I mean, we donate to the schools and stuff, and we're trying to make it, nice for everybody to come out and everybody to enjoy. It's not a free for all. These are athletes out here running there, and they do a good job at it. And people like me, it's hard for big boys like me to run it, but they do a good job.
I've never entered because of the crowds, just for the record.
You see me running like that, there's something bigger behind me.
Well, y'all come on out. We'll put you in the truck and ride you around.
Well, at this point, I will ask, is there anyone else that wishes to speak on behalf of this application? Would you sign in, state your name, and address your comments to the chair?
Yes, sir. My name is Sam Abbott. I'm the founder of Savage Race, and we've been coming to Paulding County for 7 years. This will be our 8th year here. We've been in operation for 9, and I'm from Gainesville, Florida. I drove up this morning, but Paulding County has kind of become like a second home for me because I come up here twice a year. I stay at the Moon's house, and so really appreciate being able to be part of the community in my way. This Savage Blitz that we're talking about doing, the attendance for the Sunday events is we already do this in many other places, and so we've probably already done 10 of these type of events. And what we've seen is that for the shorter version, and on Sunday, we're getting about 25% of the attendance of Saturday. And it's actually kind of taking away from some of the Saturday attendance. So really what it's doing, it's more or less it's spreading our total numbers over 2 days, which would really have a reduced impact on any sort of traffic. As Keith mentioned, we haven't had any traffic issues, but if anything, it would have a reduced impact on that because we're spreading it over the 2 days. And beyond that, the 3 mile version, as Keith mentioned, I designed it because I wanted an opportunity to do a race where I could actually finish it as the founder of an endurance event. I felt embarrassed that I couldn't do my own event, so I just made a shorter one. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would wish to speak on behalf of this application? Are there any questions from the Planning Commission or the Board of Commissioners to the applicant or Mr. Abbott? Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Is there anyone here that would wish to speak in opposition to this application or may have questions, comments, or concerns? Mr. Robinson, just so we understand, was there a reason given for the objection you received by phone?
They were just concerned about traffic and noise, and if they would be overnight.
Okay. Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the Planning Commission to the staff? Board of Commissioners? All right. Thank you very much. At this time, I will entertain a motion to consider 2019-05-SUP.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Was that with the
Second.
12 listed stipulations? I don't-
Second.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to put those words in your mouth. And I have, that's from Mr. Lowe and a second from Ms. Turnbull. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0 and 1. And again, I may consider entering the race now.
On Sunday.
Yeah, well, that's the way my wife caught me. It was something similar that way. But at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn from Mr. Aston, a second from Mr. Lowe. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0 and 1. Thank y'all very much and have a wonderful day.